Hey there, I'm Sam from Barn2 and welcome to this tutorial on how to create your very own restaurant food ordering website as an alternative to services like UberEats, Just Eat, Doordash, GrubHub, and many more. Because while those services do offer convenience, they often charge commissions as high as 30% on every order, which can really cut into your profit margins as a business. But don't worry, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use WordPress and WooCommerce, as well as some plugins from Barn2 to create a seamless restaurant ordering system that you own. No more middlemen cutting out your profits. And of course, the best part is you don't need to have any technical knowledge to get started. With this system, your customers can easily browse your entire menu and order food for delivery or takeout on any device, including smartphones. And instead of paying a hefty percentage of each order, you'll only have fixed costs for the domain, hosting, and a few plugins, which is way cheaper than those commissions. So if you're finally ready to take control of your restaurant's ordering system and keep more of the profits for yourself, then let's dive in and build your very own alternative to UberEats using WordPress and WooCommerce. In today's tutorial, we'll learn how to make a food ordering website just like this one, using the free open source CMS WordPress and its WooCommerce plugin, as well as some very handy plugins from Barn2, which have a low annual cost and no commissions to eat up your profit margins. We'll cover the basics of how to set up the site, create products, and customize the pages for the restaurant ordering system that you control. Then we'll talk about how to integrate delivery options and enhance the overall experience for your hungry customers. In case you're not familiar, every WordPress site needs a hosting platform and a domain name. Now, there are a bunch of different options out there, and we recommend using Kinsta. There's a few reasons for that. First of all, they're very fast. They're also very user-friendly, and they have great customer support. So depending on how you set it up, you can go for as little as $35 a month or $350 a year. And if you go through this process and create an account, then you can set up your WordPress site through the Kinsta dashboard, and then you'll be able to log in and continue with the next steps. Now, I'm skipping ahead to the part where we have our WordPress website set up, because of course there are plenty of resources out there for you to get this far. I wanted to focus on the restaurant ordering in this video. Let's go down to plugins. Now, I've had this website for a little while, so I've got quite a few extra plugins, mostly from Barn2, funny enough. But at the beginning, there'll only be about 3 different plugins. And if you don't have it already, you're going to need to set up the WooCommerce plugin. Now, this is a free plugin, and you can find it if you don't have it already by going Plugins, Add New, and search for WooCommerce. And this is the official WooCommerce plugin. So as you can see, I've already installed and activated it. Now, once you've installed the WooCommerce plugin on your site, then it's going to take you to a setup wizard. So what you'll want to do is set up WooCommerce so it suits your situation. So for example, if you are in the UK, then you would add that address and you'll want to make sure that your email is correct. And we'll go continue. Very good. And what are we selling? We're selling food and drink for a restaurant. And those will be physical products. There won't be any downloads or memberships or subscriptions. And how many products do we plan to display? I think this is about right. Are we currently selling elsewhere? No. And this would be only if you're setting it up for someone else. Let's see what the recommended features are. Okay, so for simplicity's sake, I'm going to disable Jetpack, and let's set up WooCommerce payments so we can accept credit cards as well. That's going to be helpful. Now, we don't need a email marketing or Google Ads just yet, but we can consider those later on, of course. And let's turn off this one and this one as well. Great. Now we need to choose a theme for our store. Storefront is the most standard and clean look, but you may consider something a little bit more specific for a restaurant. Of course, if you want to browse through, they have free themes, and you can always change this later on. So we could actually skip I'm going to continue with my active theme of the storefront. Because we chose the UK as our home, obviously the currency is going to be in pounds sterling. If we chose the US or somewhere else, we would have a different currency. Now, I may actually want to change that somewhere. So here, if I want to change the currency, I go to General, and if I'm, depending on the country, obviously, it will automatically choose, but I can also change it myself to United States dollars. Save those. Now, of course, it's important to be able to receive payments from your customers. So we did allow or select the WooCommerce payments option before, but keep in mind you also have a bunch of other options too. So you can set up Stripe, PayPal, Square for WooCommerce, etc. There are many different payment options. And as a restaurant, you can also accept cash on delivery as an option as well. Let's jump into the WooCommerce settings and see how we set that up. Click here on WooCommerce settings and payments, and you'll have to click get started and set up the payment structure with WooCommerce payments in order to receive payments through Visa, MasterCard, etc. And once this is enabled and the setup is finished, you can start receiving payments from customers using credit cards. Now you also have this cash on delivery and PayPal option, which I recommend for restaurants. Then hit save changes and you're all ready to go. All right, let's take a moment to set up our shipping options. Now, shipping is obviously not going to be the same for a restaurant. We're talking about delivery. So what we're going to do is set up a shipping zone, and we're going to edit that shipping zone so it just covers our local region. So all we have to do is set a name for this. For example, I could say South London, and then I could limit to specific zip or postcodes. You'll have to do the research and find out which postcodes your restaurant is able to deliver to and list one of those per line. And then what you can do is edit this flat rate. So the delivery is going to cost, for example, 10. Now I'd quickly like to cover the order notifications. So in WooCommerce, you can set up emails for every type of notification that you would need. So for example, you can set up the recipient as yourself to receive new orders when they come in. And with some simple automation, you can set it up so that these emails can even get printed off or sent to the correct person to be able to complete the order in time. Now, you can also set up the order notifications that you'll send to your customer. So when they put their email address in, they'll receive these emails for when the order is on hold or processing or completed. And you can customize these emails to work with your restaurant ordering system. So I recommend spending some time figuring out how you will want this to look, because as soon as you start receiving orders, you don't want to miss anything and you don't want your customers to be uninformed about how their order status is doing. Okay, great. Now WooCommerce is all set up. We need to start adding our menu items as products in the WooCommerce backend. But first of all, let's set up some categories, as in the different sections of products that we're going to offer. And in this case, that might be something like starters, mains, desserts, etc. So let's see how we do that. Click on products and go categories. Now you can see ahead of time, I already created a few of these categories. For example, starters, mains, sides, and desserts. Let's make another one specifically for pizzas. And the slug will just be pizza as well. Good. And it won't have a parent category. Or let's change the parent category to mains, because pizza is also a main dish. And I can also upload an image for this and use this image and add new category. Very good. Now pizza has been added underneath the mains category. Now let's add a new product. So let's go to all products, and you can see these are some of the products or menu items that I've already added to my restaurant. So I'll show you how to add a new one. You can either click add new up here, or you can also click it on the left here, add new. Now to keep things simple, I'm just going to copy the details from the demo site. So we add a title, for example, Meat Feast Pizza. and a description, which is the same thing that you would put on your restaurant menu. And we'll choose the product category down here, which is pizza. And we'll set a price. Now, pizza is not a simple product typically. We could say that this particular pizza has only one option, and therefore it only has one price, for example, $9.99. And that would mean that they only have one size option and one toppings option. But pizza is something that people like to customize. So instead, let's turn this into a variable product and come down to the attributes. And let's make an attribute which is custom for pizza. So the custom will be the diameter, and the values, let's make it 9 inches and separate it with this long straight character. And let's make a 13-inch option. Now let's remove the visibility from the product page. I'll show you why in a minute. And let's use this for variations. Let's save those. Now our pizza can come in 2 different variations as soon as we create variations from all attributes. You'll see this little warning, press OK. 2 variations added, perfect. Now it says 2 variations do not have prices. That's correct. We need to update those. The variation price for 9-inch is going to be $9.99. And the variation price for 13-inch, let's make that $14.99. Very good. And save those changes. Now customers will be able to have a drop-down option to choose 9-inch, 13-inch. And when they choose that, it'll change the price accordingly. Now the last thing to do is to come up here and press publish. Or if you're not ready to publish, you can also save draft, but make sure you save it. Now I'll actually click on view product to see how that looks. Oh, we forgot to add an image. So let's go back and choose an image for that one. To add an image, we can set a product image here. And let's choose this one. Obviously, I uploaded this picture in advance. You're not going to have this picture just sitting in WordPress. You have to upload it yourself. And let's update the product. All right. And when we refresh, you can see the image has just popped up for us. Perfect. Now, like I said, there is a price range, $9.99 to $14.99. And depending on which one the customer chooses, they'll get the updated price. Take a moment here to create a menu item for each of the different categories that you want to set up. So for example, create a menu item for the mains, the starters, the sides, etc. And that will allow us to see how the WooCommerce restaurant ordering plugin works with our store in just a few moments. All right, take a deep breath, because if you've made it this far in the tutorial, you're already doing a great job. And we're only a few steps away from actually having our restaurant set up exactly the way we want it to be. Now, the next step is to install the WooCommerce restaurant ordering plugin from Barn2. And this is going to take our basic WooCommerce store layout and turn it into a proper restaurant ordering form without any technical steps, just a setup wizard, which I'll show you how to do right now. So there'll be a link to this plugin down in the description below. And as soon as you purchase the plugin, you'll receive an email from us with a confirmation, as well as a license key to activate the plugin. So coming back to our WordPress dashboard, if we click on plugins, and we can see, in this case, I already have the WooCommerce restaurant ordering set up. But if you haven't already got that, of course, you come to the very top and you click on add new and click upload plugin. And then you'll take the zip file, which you got in our email, and drag that into this section here, or choose file if you downloaded it already. And then click on install. Once installed, the plugin is going to take you to the setup wizard. So let's jump through that now and see how to configure the settings. First step is to enter your license key, which, like I mentioned, you'll get in that email, or you can also log into your newly created account on barn2.com in order to access that at any time. Next up, we're going to choose a page where we can place the restaurant order form. I've got a lot of pages set up from other side projects on this website, so ignore all of this. If you want this to be on your homepage, you can by all means put it on your homepage. In this case, I have a specific page set up called My Restaurant Order Menu, which I set up in advance of this tutorial, and you are welcome to set up a page and change this at any time. Next, we'll set up the categories, which are going onto our restaurant order form. And remember, we made one for pizza, so let's see if that's there. Perfect. We can add pizza to our list of categories. Now, here's the information which will appear in the order form. So we can set up a menu navigation bar, which will be on the side for customers to navigate through the store. We can also show category names, descriptions, and product images and product descriptions, which are all good to show. I'm going to select this as well so we can see what it looks like. And next up, we have the layout, which can be 1 column or up to 3 columns. So for example, if I show you the 3 column layout, we'll have to have at least 3 items in each category for the 3 column layout to make sense, but it's a more condensed version. A single column would be for just if you have a few products in each one. And just to show you, this is what the single column layout looks like. And this is what the 3 column setup looks like. So you can see you need at least 3 items in order to fill up all the columns. All right, let's go next. Restaurant name. Let's set this to my restaurant. And the address, you can set it as your restaurant address. And let's set up some delivery or collection information. Great, now our restaurant is set up. Let's also add some opening hours very quickly. So that's going to scroll us right down to the bottom of the settings page. And we can enable restaurant opening hours. And we can set this up as well. So for example, we could set it from, let's set it from 2 till 11. And I can obviously set that up for any of the days on which I'm open, with additional hours available as well. And this is what it'll display when the restaurant is open or closed. All right, nice one. So those are all the main settings that we need to worry about for the WooCommerce restaurant ordering plugin. Now let's go take a look on the website that we've just created and see how the plugin works. So from anywhere on your website, you'll need to click on the page which the order form is set up on. So in this case, I chose My Restaurant Order Menu. And I also added this to my actual website menu so I could click on it at any time. Now, it does tell me that this restaurant is currently closed, which is based on the hours that I set. Obviously, I didn't set them for this hour in particular, but that's good. So now I can see how it looks. Now, this is also giving me the option to click on any of the different categories that we set up before, for example, starters, mains, and it'll just jump to those. Of course, if we want to change the order of these, we can do that in the settings as well. Let me just quickly do that for you. So here we are in the settings, and let's just move desserts way down to the bottom. Pizza is going to come underneath the mains and sides there as well. Perfect. Now we scroll down again, save those changes. All right, now we're rocking and rolling. So from here, if I want to add a spaghetti to my order, I can click this plus button. And it brings up this light box, and I can choose the quantity of spaghetti carbonara that I'd like, and I can add this to my order. For something a little bit more complicated, like a pizza, when I click here, it's going to show me a couple of drop downs. So the diameter, 9-inch, the base, let's say Italian, and this is going to update based on how I set up this product in the back end. And let's just show you the one that you saw already. We set up the diameter of this one, and we set the price based on the diameter. But you can see it's not the best possible interface because you can't see what the price is before you click on this option. And so it's hard to be able to compare the different additions or subtractions. And also we'll have to go through a lot of extra work to add even more options. For example, changing the toppings of the pizza. And there is a plugin which is going to help with that, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. If I go and look at my basket here, I can check out. It's going to bring me to the standard checkout page, and I can make this order. On a side note, if you need to access the restaurant ordering plugin settings, you can go to WooCommerce settings and click on restaurant ordering up the top here, or you can also go to your plugins page, find the plugin, and click on settings. Now there are a couple more settings that I didn't mention during the setup wizard, which might be useful for you. For example, you can show the order form on WooCommerce category pages as well as this page that you set up here. When you scroll down here, you can see that you can change the default sorting order to price, for example, or popularity, and you can change the image position from left to right and update the image size as well. Here we can limit the description length depending on how detailed you want your menu to be. I prefer to show the full description and just write a short enough description that it can all be shown. And here is the product lightbox option. So that's that little box that pops up when you click on add a product or add an item. So you can click to show the product image or not. I would recommend keeping this on, as well as the description, of course, and stock status. That's going to depend on what kind of stock you are running in your restaurant. Now, in the order method, this is going to determine whether the boxes pop up every time somebody wants to add something, or only when there's some variations to be considered. So for simple items, they can be added instantly to the cart, or you can choose to have the same lightbox popping up for every single item. I think I prefer it this way just because it gives a uniform experience for the customer. Now we can change the order method to clicking on this plus button or clicking anywhere in the product box. And this will show a confirmation banner when anything is added to the cart. Cool, and we'll save those changes. All right, now our restaurant is really starting to shape up, but there are some optional plugins that I will still recommend to you in this video, because one of them is going to increase the variety of options that you can offer customers for the different food items in a very simple and logical way. And the other plugin is to speed up the ordering process, which is really going to improve the ordering experience for those customers and keep them coming back for more in the future. So the first addition you may consider is the extra product options, which is offered by the WooCommerce Product Options plugin. Now, when you add the WooCommerce Product Options extension, this allows you to add even more options for each of the items. So here you can see, instead of just the drop-down list, we can actually see all of the different pizza bases and extra toppings, including little images which will indicate what those things will be. And you can see the price on each one. So customers are really informed about what they're purchasing and how much it's going to cost them. So by adding the thin Italian crust and, for example, pepperoni, you can see that the price is dynamically updated. And there's even a box for some very specific dietary requirements. And then I can add all of that. And here with another pizza, we can see that these are the options that are allowed. So for example, we have a vegan modification, a gluten-free, and a dairy-free option. Now the gluten-free adds 10%, so you can see the price has just dynamically updated for us. Now, the other integration that I'm excited to tell you about is the WooCommerce Fast Cart plugin. This is going to speed up ordering, and it's going to give your store a little pop-up cart that customers can click on at any time and see what's in their cart and make the purchase straight away as soon as they're ready to. This cuts out the extra pages and steps that you usually have using WooCommerce in its default setup. So here's how it looks. For example, we have a barbecue chicken salad, and we've added that to our cart, and look, the cart pops up straight away, and it allows us to go to the checkout. Now, we don't want to go to the checkout now, so let's press the little X. But at any time, we can actually click on this little icon in the bottom, and it's going to bring up this cart. So let's keep shopping. Let's buy our pizza. And again, boom, it's popped up straight away, and we can go to the checkout. Now, of course, you have the option to integrate all three of these plugins together. So before this little pop-up cart will show up, they'll also have the option to modify the pizza in some way. Now let's go to the checkout. And without leaving the page, our checkout has popped up, and you can see it's like this beautiful light box, and we can choose to pay by, for example, PayPal. Now, both of these plugins, of course, are linked in the description below. And if you purchase them as a bundle together, you're going to save quite a lot of money as well. So I highly recommend doing that. Now, let's talk briefly about setting up order notifications. So the email system that I spoke about already might not be instantaneous enough for you. You might want to receive your order notifications on your mobile device or through some other point of sale system in your restaurant. And thankfully, there are plenty of options to set that up. For example, using the official WooCommerce mobile app, you can set it up so you get new orders as push notifications directly to your phone, or you can set this up on your restaurant's point of sale system so your staff also have access to the new orders as they come in. Now, the Woo SMS plugin will also allow you to receive text messages when orders come in, or you can even set it up so orders are printed as soon as they come in as well. So you can fulfill those orders by printing them out and showing them to your staff. And the Yith desktop notifications for WooCommerce allows you to get new orders on the desktop of your computer. So if you're using a computer for the point of sale system, then this is kind of a pretty handy solution for you. All right, so I spoke about setting opening hours for your restaurant, but you might want to have a little bit more control over the opening hours and delivery hours using the WooCommerce delivery slots plugin from Iconic. Customers can choose an available delivery slot, and that ensures that your delivery drivers can cope with the number of food orders. Next, you can use the free delivery drivers for WooCommerce plugin to avoid the manual work of managing your local delivery drivers. You can also use another Barn 2 plugin to add minimum order values to your restaurant. This will mean that people can't just order one side of fries delivered to their house, and it won't waste time or resources for your staff. If you'd like to offer special deals or run promotions like buy one, get one free, you can use this WooCommerce dynamic pricing plugin. This is going to give you a lot more control over running these special deals. And finally, if you want to accept tips, you can use this WooCommerce donation or tip on cart and checkout plugin, which is a handy way to add a tipping function to your checkout. All right, I hope that wasn't too much for just one video, but I'm just trying to show you that you have more options available than just going with UberEats or Doordash or any of the other crazy apps which charge you a commission on every single order. If you want to take control of your restaurant ordering system and pay flat fees that last the entire year, no matter how many orders you take, you have that option. You can set it up using WooCommerce and a couple of plugins from Barn 2 to enhance the experience of the ordering process. Of course, it's going to take you a little bit of time and effort to set up in the beginning, but you have full control over it and it's not going anywhere. You own that website. If you're curious to learn more about the WooCommerce Product Options plugin that I mentioned, you can watch this video next to learn how to set it up and use it on your store. And thank you so much for watching.